Hello everyone, I'm Gabriela Călinescu from Audionova, Romania. I am honored to welcome here today at Audionova our special guest, Mariana Roslyng, who has a PhD in pediatrics. Hello Mariana, welcome to Audionova, Romania. How important is the newborn hearing screening?
Thank you for asking me this question, and thank you for having the opportunity to be here. Newborn hearing screening, it's something that happens for 25 years ago. And it was really important when we started because it gave us the opportunity to give something to children with hearing loss that we couldn't give before. So the fact that we can give a hearing aid to a child before 6 months of age, it really changed the life of these children. We were able to give them almost normal language development if we are able to fit the hearing aid before 6 months of age. And then you could ask me, but Mariana, why the 6 months of age? And I would say that the 6 months of age is super important because that's the brain development. We know the plasticity of the brain change after 6 months of age. But we have to remember one thing. We are telling the parents that their child is not normal. The child was born normal. In their mind, because hearing loss, it's a disability that you can't see in any way. They got a normal child, and we are gonna very fast telling them that the child is not normal anymore, and they are gonna go through a process. So we have 6 months to make the screening, make the diagnosis, and make the feeding. And you have to have a lot of information to be able to do the feeding and to collect everything before 6 months of age. It's not an easy task, and it doesn't get easier trying to get the parents to accept the hearing loss and go with you in this process. We will need the support, or the child will need the support, the whole development. But the possibility that we have, if we fit the hearing aid before 6 months of age, is that we have a child with a normal, or as normal as possible, language development. And this is a possibility for them to later on be able to develop their social skills, develop their language, develop and be able to go in a normal school and even go further after school to university. So this has been a life change. Having the screening has been a life change for those children.
So the screening programs, universal screening programs are very, very important.
They are crucial. They are crucial for the development of these children.
And they reduce undetected childhood hearing loss.
They should stop, right?
Yes.
With the undetected. If you have, I don't know how it is in Romania, but if you have the screening very early, the universal screening very early, but the screening is not enough by itself. You need to do the diagnostic afterwards, and you are in a hurry. So if you do the screening after 2 weeks, maximum a month of the child's life, then you have to immediately start the process of diagnosis, because the process of diagnosis, it's not an easy task for none of us. I think we had a conversation yesterday.
Yes.
where you said to me, I'm always in doubt of what I do. And we are all
of us.
All of us are in doubt.
Because we work with children, so.
Because we are working with children, and we are working with a child that are not able to collaborate on the normal tests that we do. So we will have to do special tests and making conclusions on those tests without having the child collaborating with you. So it will be ABR, it will be ASSR, it will be autoacoustic emission, it will be a lot of those tests.
Now we have a lot of tests to do the right diagnosis for the children.
We do have a lot of tests, but it's the sum of all the tests together that will give the result. You can't do one test and then take a conclusion of that.
Yes.
You have to put all the pieces together, or all the tests that you are doing, and you have to have the parents with you. Remember one thing that I think a lot of people keep forgetting. As soon as we tell the parents that their child has a hearing loss, they say, oh, my child can't hear. I stop talking to them. And we want the opposite. We want them to talk to them. Remember one thing, these children are already in the stomach of the mother. They are not hearing the mother voice. Normal children, they hear the mother voice in the stomach. So when they are born, the fact that the child is crying and you can say on the way to the child, I'm coming to you, the child is already comfort because the child knows the mother voice, knows the father's voice from the time it was in the mother's stomach. A child with a hearing loss doesn't have that. What you are going to see is a child that cries more, is more insatisfied, and wants the mother to be closer because the child doesn't know the mother's voice. By giving the hearing aid, the child will be comfort and will learn the mother's voice. But all of that is a process, and we have to have the parents with us.
So the time frame is short. We have to be between 1 month and 6 months with the test ready and rehabilitation ready.
Exactly. So you were busy. It's a busy family. It's a family that are living a crisis because they have to accept a hearing loss. They have to accept that their child is not normal anymore. Suddenly they get a new child, a child with a hearing loss. They were not expecting that. It's different in the time we wait until they were 2 or 3 years of age for fitting the hearing aid. The parents were in a process of having the feeling something is wrong. The child is not developing language.
Mariana, what is the importance of speech therapy in rehabilitation process, and how important is the collaboration between the audiologist, speech therapist, parents, school, normal school?
I think it's an important point here, and thanks for reminding me. Remember one thing, all the tests that we are doing with these children and the puzzle that I talked about that we are putting together, all of that is based on tests that we do, that we measure how the brain responds to sound, right? When we fit the hearing aid, we don't have all the information that we need. We have some information, and we will see how the child reacts to the hearing aid. And then the collaboration in between the parents, the speech therapist, the audiologist, the grandparents, everyone will be able to tell us how the child is doing with the hearing aid. The hearing aid alone will never be able to solve all the queries that a child has. For the first, we need to have the hearing device on the ear of the child. And that's only the parents that can do that for us. We will have stimulation. We will have the speech therapy that we will be working with the child on the child's development of speech. And they will also be able to see where are the weak points, where are the consonants or even the vocals they are not able to speak. And we will be able to go back to the hearing aid fit and say, hey, they can't hear the S, maybe they don't have the amplification enough on the high frequencies. Or maybe they have a problem when there is noise. Maybe the hearing aid is not enough. We need to give an FM system. So all of that, the conclusion of how the child is developing will tell us what else do we need to do to help this child. And the audiologist cannot do that alone, because the audiology will be measuring the hearing aid and based on the tests that have some limitations why the child cannot react to a normal test. So that's the speech therapist's role, that's the parent's role. When the school starts, that will be the school's role also to find out this child will have special needs, even with hearing aid. You still want them to sit in front in the classroom. You still want them to have, in noisy situation, maybe a directional microphone is enough. Normally we say children with a hearing loss will have a benefit of using an FM system, just to put the teacher's voice closer to the child's ear, because noise will always be the enemy. Yes. And a child environment has noise because the other children make noise.
A lot of noise.
A lot of, and they are together, and we want them to socialize. So we need to help them on that journey as well.
So Mariana, how often do you have to make a follow-up visit with the child and the parents or grandparents?
So I think again, this is another important point. As I said, the whole thing is a process, right? Until the child is 4 years of age, they will not be able to collaborate in a normal test. And we are the whole time trying to find out new information. So I would say in the beginning, maybe they will be very close in contact, and maybe they will come to the shop every other week, every month. Once you have concluded the feeding and you are now satisfied with the feeding, we have to remember we have the ear mode that has to be good. The child's ears is growing until 7 years of age immensely. So we need a new ear mode is a very important part of the feeding as well.
I saw yesterday when we made some tests.
So the ear mode has to be remade, and we need to see other information. So I will see every other month once you have concluded that you sing. First you have to conclude the feeding, right? And that takes a while, and that takes a lot of interaction, and you will see the child every other week. And then once you have concluded that, they will be coming to you every other month. And maybe the audiologist and the speech therapist will be in contact with each other and will say, hey, now I think I have some new information. I need you to have a look on the hearing aid. Or I need you to assess if there is a need of a FM system. I need to assess if we need something for the television. I don't know how early children start seeing television in Romanian, but in Denmark they are starting early and early. They are always interact with this kind of devices, and maybe they need some kind of connection to that also to be able to listen the sound of a television, of a video, of music. We want a TV streamer or something like that to help the child on that. Again, everything is a collaboration, and you have to be in close contact. Every week on a child development is important, and we need to take that in consideration.
Mariana, do you have any final remarks?
I think I start when I said that the screening was a life-changing. We have to remember, if we manage to fit the hearing aid at 6 months of age, if we manage to have the collaboration in between all the professionals that are working with the child early, these children will have a normal life. They will be able to go to work, they will be able to study, they will be able to have normal social skills. So that's what we gain from the screening, and that's why that's so important. So governmental-wise, all the government should be investing on this early detection, early intervention, because this gives the child to have a normal life. If we wait too long, they will not have a normal life. They will not be able to have a normal language. So I really think, and I see the work you are doing here in Audionova, that you are really dedicating your time for this kind of process. You want to learn, you want to do it, and the benefit will be these children will have normal life, and that's what we want to achieve. That's why we became audiologists, because we want to be able to give the best we can for these children and the family. So the parents have to realize that even though they have a child with disability, this child can live a normal life later on.
Thank you, Mariana, for being here with us today and share with us all this information. Thank you for your help. Thank you for teaching us the test. And thank you a lot for all your support.
It was such a pleasure being here.